What's up, guys? Ladies, gentlemen, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. What am I doing up? Bina, how are you? Sasikala Ramesh. What's up, bro? Wilma, cool name, Wilma. Dorm Pot, Hacker. As you were, Hacker. Casey, you're back. Wait, were you here yesterday, Casey? Hey, Moises. Pacheco. ¿Cómo está? I'm not. This is my StreamYard controller. I'm on Smart TV using StreamYard through Xbox. So this is my mouse. India. Namaste. Yeah, it was. It's a different last name. I just went live at 3 o'clock in the morning. Blue. What's up, Wyatt? Hey, thanks for coming in, everybody. Man, I got how many people? 10? 79 people watching. Right on. What's up, guys? Damien. I'm not playing anything, B. This is my mouse for the StreamYard live stream. You just bring up the browser on Xbox and treat it like a laptop, and this becomes your controller, your mouse. The toggles are your mouse. Lakshman Argarwal. Moises. What part of Mexico? Jack. Fiction. Yeah. I hope you're joking, SK. There you go, Sandy. Biden's doing a hell of a job. Thanks, Wilma. Where are you guys from? I saw India. What other countries? No, you're cool, Bina. The felon. Epic. Germany. So we got India, Germany. Where else? USA. Oh, no way. San Diego's my hometown. Solar. You don't work for Solar, do you? That's right, cuckold. Well, you're not the first person to say that about my voice. The ladies are always commenting on this microphone, so right on, Veljikez. Veljikez. Gaming, Johan. Wolf. American Muscle. FJB. George Floyd. Who was George Floyd? Sorry. There you go. Jesus Christ first. I second that motion. Kisses and hugs. Yeah, who was George Floyd? George Floyd is a buffoon. Go over Kennedy, but Trump's got my vote. Janine. Scott. Y4KO. I really appreciate it, really, guys, gals. Lynn, you're back. Who are you, Lynn? Kilpatrick. Oh, you're in, where are you again, Lynn? Are you in London? No. Oh, he was the guy that got killed by the cops. Wait, what do you mean? In what year? Yeah. Thanks, American Muscle. Was George Floyd the one that got bricked? You know, and no, he was the one that got. That was the trucker, that white trucker back in the 80s. Yeah, I gave you while you were gone, I think, I gave you a moderator status. So you can post your link, Lynn, and your link will come up blue, and people will be able to click on it and go to your channel. Oh, the one that got knee to his neck and they suffocated him. Or did he get paralyzed or something? You're welcome, Lynn. Where are you from again, Lynn? Where are you? Thanks, Bina. Bina's from Germany. Oh, he died of an overdose. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, obviously I don't pay attention, whether he's black or white. Oh, you're in the USA? Where are you? I'm a San Diego boy, relocated to New Jersey. Don't ask. Right on, Civic. Actually, I'm here to ultimately have a talk show. I hope I get people that will come on board, and I'll do a video and edit it and then put it out as a final product. A talk show between, I'm an ex-paramedic Navy corpsman, and I'm hoping that any nurses, docs, fellow paramedics, EMTs will contact me, and we can do a show. Oh, no way, Cuckold. Why is your name Cuckold? Are you from Canada? Oh, Cuck Old Rat. Yeah, are you originally from Canada? Or? Good night, Lynn. Yeah, it's midnight. 10 after midnight in California. Thank you, Bina. Oh, that's your gamer tag. Gotcha. That's okay then. Who's better call Sal? Janego. Oh, Jangio. Sorry, Janego. Would I rather be black or Asian? I don't know, neither. My wife's Asian, so I've been married to Asian ladies only, so I got a Asian persuasion thing going on. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, American Muscle, about Obama. He's still involved, pushing the Democratic agenda. Yeah. All right, Sandy. Where? Yeah, it's 3:10 here too. Are you on the East Coast, Sandy? Yeah, we got to do something. It's a spiritual battle. The demons against the Republicans. No. No, I don't. No, no, no. This was my son's. He was uh, what you call it, player before he graduated to his laptop. Now he uses his laptop. Oh, my dad's from Detroit. And I got a friend in uh, South Michigan as well. Thank you, Sandy. Is that you in your photo, Sandy? I'm zooming in on your face. Thank you, Astrid. Northern Michigan. Ah. Well, you're beautiful. Bye, Bina. Good night. Auf Wiedersehen. I think that's right. You're welcome. Age range, Sandy? You know, I need more coffee. It's 3 in the morning and I'm... Oh, hoorah, cuckold rat. God put together a great idea when he developed the military. Take what off? Take that hat off, Lewis? No, dude. Are you really, Sandy? No, wait a minute. That's not... You're not 54 in your picture, are you? You look like my sister. I swear. You do. You look like my younger sister. Right on, cuckold. Yeah, hit the thumbs up and click on subscribe and the bell, you know, so you get the notifications when I come on. You'll get the red, you know, notification. Bye, Bina. Is it really? Well, you look wonderful in your profile picture. I'm 61, 6'1". I'll be 62 in August. Here. Wait. There, that's without that. What's the BGM? Sorry, what's BG? Thanks, Dior. What's BGM? Asterisk. Gen Geo. You're not the first person to say that. I got that. With this microphone, it becomes a bedroom voice or something. I've been told. Oh, the background music. Sorry. It's called. What is it called? I downloaded it. I think it's called Over the Horizon. There's like 5 songs that are defaulted with this StreamYard platform, but if you pay for a pay version subscription, you can download your own backgrounds, music, etc. Oh, cool. Yeah, Over the Horizon. Over_the_horizon. I think it It's like on your laptop. I have a editing software, and it is in that playlist of what's the editing software I use? Oh my gosh, got a brain fart. Anyways, love you too, man. What's up, Zach? I thought that was a person with sunglasses. I zoomed in. It's a dog. Right on, guys. Carol, 1977. Is that your birth year, Carol? I see that. If it is, I know how old you are. I'm older than you. Aw, Sandy, here, I'll put your comment on the screen here. Yeah, come back, Sandy. I've been doing this like every other night. No schedule yet, but hopefully one day you'll see a talk show, and I'll be interviewing fellow medical personnel, telling war stories about pre-hospital medicine or medicine in general. You should do audiobooks. Oh, with my voice, you mean, Astrid? You know, Astrid, I used to read books to my wife when I first met her, and it would put her to sleep, and she would snore on the other end of the phone. And that's when I would quietly hang up. And I was on the West Coast, she was on the East Coast. And I would read J.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, the trilogy. I would read The Hobbit to her and put her to sleep. How funny you're. She says she doesn't remember that. And it's like, what do you mean you don't remember? Because she fell asleep, that's why. Oh, yeah. You never seen the movies, Astrid? The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, the Ring, what's it called? The Dark, wait, I forgot the movies, but I mean, those are like Wizard of Oz quality movies, you know, modern special effects. It's wild. Incredible. Yeah, The Ring. Yeah. Yeah, that one. Levi. What's up, bro? What's that say? Lincoln Park? Astrid, I take it you're a girl. I'm looking at your anime. Is that anime? Profile picture. Well, welcome, Levi. No, funny thing. I've done years ago. I learned about live streaming, but I was and still am a nobody. I'm hoping to do a medical interview, pre-hospital emergency medicine. But no, I've done quite a few just random chit-chat live streams. What do you know about anime, Grandpa? My son knows a little bit. He's got a series of books that he subscribes to. But I don't know anything about anime, other than what they look like. So. I take it you're a youngster, Astros. How old am I? How old do I look? Here. I just got a haircut recently. Hold on. Cow. What is that? Jamimstar. I am a chill dude. Dude. I can be a jerk too. Ask my wife. Manga? No, I know. I've heard about manga. Yeah, you're talking. Are you about my son's age? Are you still a teenager, Estrus? Or are you a teenager? I hope you are. Are you late teens? My son's 19. He just turned 19. You just asked. He just turned 19 in May. First year college. Where are you guys? That's right, Ura, Adolf. Oh, you're 4 years younger. Okay, so you're 15. And I'm sorry, Astros, did you already say where you're at? Are you the one in Michigan? I wasn't paying attention. Who's from Michigan? Oh, sorry, cruel. Trump hat. Isn't both candidates from both parties corrupt and bad? No. One guy's brilliant, a brilliant businessman, and you can look up the dirt on anybody and give it to the media and have them run it. And, you end up being a criminal yourself or a bad guy in some way or another. So don't worry about that. Look at his resume and stick with his resume, what he does, what he's able to do for the country, and make your choice. All right? Honestly, no, atheism's not okay. Atheism is not okay. I mean, if that's what you choose to believe, I can't do anything about that except tell you about the truth. But all in all, atheism, why is it not okay? Because you don't want to take your last breath on this earth being an atheist. God forbid you take your last breath on this earth as an atheist. And it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a believer in God. To believe that we all got here from nothing just doesn't make sense. How do you get something from nothing? But they're now saying that nothing that we came from is something. It's called dark matter. And you're like, wait a minute. So nothing is something? Okay. Yes, I can. Oh, you can absolutely prove there's a creator. It's very simple. It's like this was created, right? This controller. So there had to be a creator, right? So look outside. Look in the sky. Look at the stars. Look at the planets. They have signatures on them that is organized. Total organization about our solar system, about everything, about you, me, what you see. It's organized. Look at your DNA. Very organized. Right? So there had to have been an organizer to organize that. it's pretty simple. It's like looking at a piece of art on the wall and saying, there wasn't a artist that created that, or that drew that or painted that. Yeah. So anyways, what about science? Sorry. It's good question though, but you're asking, hold on a second. Look at this. The Creation Answers book. I just bought it. Just went to a conference and picked this up off the table. And it answers that question. What about science? Hold on a second. So you just got here by what method? Cruel, Puertos. How did you become to be? And don't say your parents, because then I'm going to ask where did they come from, and so on and so on and so on. Here's I just said this last time I was on. And I realized this just recently, and it's perfect. There you go, Astros. Thank you very much. There's only one way we all got here, okay? You and I got here the same way, all right? So if you don't want to believe that you got here one way, okay, then you have no way of knowing how to get out of here. One way we got here, and there's only one way we're going to get out of here. If you don't know either of those, what does that make you? It makes you lost. Just like when you're trying to get somewhere. If you don't know the directions, how you got there, then you're not going to be able to get back. And that makes you lost. And that's what they call people, and it's not a bad thing. We say we're going after the lost. And we say that because that's exactly what they are. They don't know. They don't know how or they choose not to believe how they got here. So they have no idea how they're going to get out of here or what's going to happen to them. So I know the answer. So, I'd be more than willing to share it with you. But most people don't want to know. And it's up to them. That's their prerogative. But I beg them. It's like, please don't leave this earth without knowing how you got here and what's going to happen when you get out of here. So it really is that simple. It really is that simple. Why not learn? Why not put your pride in your back pocket and have somebody show you? Why? That's like the doctor has the cure to your illness, but you choose not to have him tell you what the answer is or what the cure is. It's like that's silly. You got somebody out there, I'm pointing to myself, that's willing to give you the cure, and yet you don't want to know? Okay. I can't make you, but and I'm not here to make you upset or sell you anything or convince you of something that isn't true. I was shown the truth, and the truth completely transformed my life. Everything that I have here on the coffee table, all these books, all these magazines. They're all scientific journals. I never did see you answer. Did I? Oh, there it is. That's correct. You said, what about science? And I would ask, what about science? That's right. Yeah, you did. I was trying to look for a better answer for you. And I think this book, the preface, actually says something that answers that what about science indirectly. But here we go. The last paragraph. Creation, as described in the book of Genesis, in the Bible, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created. It's referring to that book. Creation, as described in the book of Genesis, is perfectly consistent with all known scientific laws and evidence. And the scientific evidence in this book is overwhelming. I challenge any skeptical person to give this book, the one I'm reading it from, it's called Evolution, the Greatest Deception in Modern History. I challenge any skeptical person to give this book an impartial reading before dismissing the creationist viewpoint, or before dismissing that there is a God. That says it better than I can. It's like he's saying, give this book a chance and read it. Evolution, the Greatest Deception in Modern History. And I've been relearning science. Relearning everything. All fields. And I've got scientific journals here on my coffee table. I've been subscribing to it for years. Based on the creation point of view. The in the beginning God created point of view. And then starting with this and then asking the question, okay, if this, then what would I expect to see? What would I expect to find? If that. If in the beginning God created, what would I expect to see? And you know what I find? You know what I'm finding through all my studies the last 17 years? It makes the most sense. It's overwhelming, just like this book says. The scientific evidence is overwhelming. And I'm literally saying, why did I just learn about this 17 years ago when I was 45 years old? When this has been around, this material, this scientific material has been around before I graduated from high school in 1978. And I graduated in 1980. And when I learned that, I said, wait a minute, what do you mean this has been around since I've been in high school? How come I never heard about it? How come this wasn't taught in my classroom or in my science class? I was like getting upset. Why am I just now learning about this stuff? This is total contradicts what I was taught in school. And it makes total sense. Overwhelming. And so that answers, is there proof that there's a God? Absolutely. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. That's I could keep talking and talking and talking, but it's that's I tell people, those that don't believe or that don't want to believe, it's like, could you just put your pride in your back pocket just for 2 days? Why don't you put your pride in your back pocket and just say, okay, show me. And have, for instance, a geologist that is an unbeliever. Why doesn't that secular, we call it, secular geologist shadow a creation worldview geologist for 2 days and just walk around and let him show you his findings that he's discovering and the conclusions he's coming up with, using this as the foundation, as the starting point to his experiments and so on. Why not? You think you would allow that into your studies. Some don't want to. So, sorry if I've been ignoring a lot of people, but no, I guess I haven't. Hi, Evelyn. So thank you, everybody up above. Lingisa Sabello. Hey, that's a good way of putting it, Astros. One doesn't need to disprove the other to prove itself. There you go. That kind of goes along the lines of what I was saying is, if you truly want to learn the truth, then you'll seek it and it will prove itself. You're right. You don't need to go banter back and forth saying, I'm right, you're right, I'm wrong, you're wrong. No, why don't you just let it prove itself? But in order to do that, you have to make a decision to study it. Yeah, it's the truth. It is that easy. There's only two, it's just a saying, but there's only two religions in this world. Those that believe and those that don't. Period. There's only one truth. There's only one way in, so there's only one way out. And you got to make the decision to whether or not you want to know how you got here and how you're going to get out of here. Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn. ¿Cómo está? But thanks, guys. Wow, everybody. Look at XOXO, Cruel Puertos. Today is the day, though, Cruel. I'm quoting scripture. Today is the day of salvation. Because here's what I was asked when I was 15 years old. If you're still there, Cruel, is what if, it was the what if question. What if you walked out your door, the next time you walk out your door, wherever you are, and you get struck by a car and your life is taken away from you tomorrow, today, whatever. What if? Will you be able to say, oh, we'll figure it out someday. It's just a matter of time. It's too late at that point. And like I said earlier, God forbid you leave this earth without knowing the truth. That's Revelation 20:15. That's the saddest verse in the Bible. For those not found in the book of life were cast into the lake of fire. And that's another day. But that's another day of live streaming that I could talk about. But that's what it's referring to. God forbid you leave this earth without knowing the truth. You don't want to go there. No. Cruel. You are still here. How come you don't believe Muhammad was the second prophet from God? Religions, right? Who's wrong and why? Good, awesome question. My 12-year-old grandson basically asked me the same question, not with all those not in detail like that, but he said, so where do I start, Grandpa Gary, when so many people believe in so many different things? He did. My 12-year-old, I was down in Florida pretty recently, and I got to talk to him I actually texted him on his phone, and he asked me that question. And my answer is, I gave him a website to go to. Very simple. It's creation.com. Real easy to remember. Creation.com. And ask questions such as what you're asking now. What is the truth? Is there more than one God? Why so many religions? Etc., etc. Put it in the search bar at the top, and they'll more than likely have an article written in reference to that question that you're asking. But if I had to answer it myself, I've thought about this, and I always think about it because I want to be able to have an answer when somebody asks me. And that is, listen, this may not answer your question good enough, but for now, the reason why I believe in that there's a creator, God himself, and that he had a son, Jesus Christ, and he sent him to this earth, is because when I studied it out and I started looking at all, at the big picture and the message that it was giving, it made the most sense of how I got here, how I'm getting out of here, what's going to happen to me when I leave, and it explained everything that I see around me and how it got here and how it works. This, the Word of God, explains that. And with the other study material that I'm pointing at on my coffee table for the last 17 years, when I look at the big picture, it makes the most sense. Total, overwhelming, like that book said, overwhelming sense that it is the way, the truth, and the life. The Quran doesn't. Confucianism doesn't. Jehovah's Witness doesn't. Catholicism doesn't. Judaism doesn't. Animism, in the Southeast Asia, believing in animals and coming back as butterflies and so on. It doesn't overwhelmingly answer the question, give me the truth. They don't. And second, religions, you mentioned religions. Religions are man's attempt to try to get to God. Okay? That's what a religion is. Christianity, Christ-like, Christianity, God's already done the work. And he's begging you to come to him before you leave this earth. He's begging you to believe in him. Because what is required to get to him, you can't do. I can't do what's required. That's why he sent his only begotten son. Because he's the only one that can do what he did. And you're wondering, what did he do? He preached the truth. He promised that he will forgive and forget every wrongdoing that anybody ever has done, is doing, and will do. He's going to forget it and forgive it as if it never happened. In other words, he's going to give you a clean slate, but what he did 3 days later was the supernatural. He rose from the dead. He defeated the sentence that we received for being sinners. For the wages, that's what you earn. The wages your employee gives you. For the wages of sin is death. We are dying because of sin. in order to clean your slate, forgive and forget your slate, and defeat your sentence, which is death, you've got to be able to rise from the grave. Can you? Can I? Can you do that? I can't. Does that sound like somebody that did? Jesus Christ did. He was witnessed by 500 plus people to have done that. You know, you can choose not to believe that. But all he's asking you is to believe that he was a real person, that he really did it, and that he really walked the earth. You see, that's what's required to get back to God. Religion is man trying to get back to him by doing works and good deeds and everything else they can think of. They're trying to do the impossible, i.e., rise from the grave. They're never going to accomplish it. You get it? It takes a supernatural ability to get back to God. God knew. He knew that we can't do that. So he sent himself in the form of a man so we could understand who he is. And why did he send him here? To die for us, in the place of us. And 3 days later, to do the supernatural. He defeated his own death. That's Christianity. It's not a religion. That's the truth. It's how you got here and how to get out of here. When you accept that, you're not lost. You're saved. Ever heard that expression? Ye must be born again. You ever heard that before? That's what he's referring to. To believe in him. He said, if you believe in me, you'll be born again. Not you're going to come out of your mom's womb again. No. He's talking about being born in the spirit. You've got a dead spirit. I've got a dead spirit. I had one before I believed. And he said, for God so loved the world that he did what? He gave his only begotten son. That whosoever does what? Believes in him should what? Should not perish, but have everlasting life. When they take their last breath, I'm going to get a chance to do it again. How did I do it? I believed. It's that simple. I believe that he did the supernatural for me. Why? Because I can't. I can't do that. You can't do that. Wow, what a God. He took the punishment. He suffered. We deserved what he got. He was innocent. They convicted him as an innocent man. They gave him the death sentence. But it was all planned. Little did they know. Oh, we're going to give him what he deserves. No, he didn't get what he deserves. He got what we deserved. We're the sinners. See, that's a just judge. A judge gives a criminal what he deserves. Right? You know, you kill somebody, you get the death sentence. I'm just giving an example. That's a just judge because that criminal's getting what he deserved. Well, according to God, the sentence for sin is death. And if you don't know, in the beginning God created, that's okay. But it describes at the very beginning what happened when man decided to sin. He told them before they even did it, if you do this, you're going to surely die. And what happened? God told them, don't go over there, don't do that. And what'd they do? They went over there and did it. So what does a just judge do? He's got to keep his promise. I just told you, if you do this, you're going to die. And so they went and did it. Well, that's what they got. They got the death sentence. And then they had children and so on and so forth. And eventually we came about through our mother and father. Well, you want me to prove that I'm a sinner? Am I going to die one day? Yes, I am. We all are. Are babies going to die one day? Yeah, they're sinners too. They're products of the original sinners. See? So he wants us back. He wants to reunite the marriage, the divorce that happened in the beginning. You can read all of it. It's all in here. The story's in here of what happened. Yeah. See, there's only one answer. And Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man, no mankind, that means man and woman, no man cometh unto the Father but by me. That was Christ talking. That's it. That's the answer. That verse changed my life. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And I realized, oh my gosh, that answers all my questions. That was it. No religion answers those big questions other than the truth, which is Christianity. It explains it all, lays it all out there, and it all makes sense, total sense, overwhelming sense when you start studying it. And I said, wow, I want to be part of that. And it's cool. It's great stuff. I get to read National Geographic quality magazines, every 3 months. It all comes from creation.com. These are scientists putting out this stuff with a creation worldview, not a secular worldview or a evolutionary worldview. This isn't evolutionary with an evolutionary foundation. This is a creation foundation. In the beginning, God created foundation. And it's awesome. It's just mind-blowing. It's been rocking my world for 17 years. Yeah, many people believe in gods. I like how you used gods and used the small g. That is correct, by the way. Whereas there's only one capital G God. Yeah. But every other God, they get the small g, the small case G. That's right. That's why many gods are believed in. They're looking for an answer. it's been happening since the beginning, EXO. Yeah, like the Aztecs, like them, like everyone. You name it. You name a country, an island, a continent, that doesn't believe in God, and there's, they've got something to replace. They're trying to get there. Since the beginning of creation, they've been doing that. They've been building temples and statues, and they're trying to, even to this day. That's why they have the I know the name and I forgot it already. The towers that are built in the Middle East, that are really high. The prayers, the 5 prayers that come out in Islam, coming out of those towers. There's a name for those towers. Anyways, that's what those towers are from. The Tower of Babel, the story of Tower of Babel in the Bible. That was at the very beginning when God said, "Go out and preach my word," in so many words. Now go out and tell everybody about me. And what they do? They stood in one place and they decided to build a tower and try to, build a tower as close as they could, as high as they could, so they could get as close to God as they could. That was the first temple, that was built. And God, what did they do? He's like, I told you guys what to do. And again, you disobeyed what I asked you to do. So he changed their language. And then they tried to speak to each other, and they were all saying, "Oh, that guy's drunk. You hear him?" Where in reality, he's speaking a foreign language. They can't understand what he's saying. Hence the word Babel. They're all babbling. That was the Tower of Babel story. And then it's been going on ever since then. People are choosing not to believe, but instead thinking of whatever a human being can think of. How are we going to get back to God? Well, let's build a tower. Let's pray. Nothing wrong with praying, by the way. I'm just giving an example other than what is required. The only way you're going to get back to him is you have to be able to forgive and forget somebody of everything wrongdoing they've done or thought, or are going to think or do. And the next thing that Christ did 3 days later, you've got to be able to resurrect from the dead. You've got to be able to defeat your sentence, your ultimate sentence. You've got to be able to resurrect from the dead. How are you going to pull that one off? Yeah. That's why you said, eventually I'll get around to it. There's nothing, why not today? But the biggest, I will admit, the biggest hurdle is making a decision and saying, okay, I'm all ears. I'll listen. And then the next hard thing to do is to be patient enough to understand what it is the person's trying to explain to you, like I'm doing now. And when you truly understand and get it, like when the light switch goes off or the light switch goes on, I should say, then you'll say, oh, I get it now. I can't do anything about it. Physically, I can't do what's required to get back where I came from. My original state, my original sinless state. We were created sinless in the beginning. The first woman, first man, which, by the way, is proven today with DNA and genetics that we came from one man and one woman. Look up Dr. Robert Carter. He's part of the creation ministries that I'm talking about. He's a geneticist, and he shows it. It's just mind-blowing. Speaking of science, science proves that we came from one original man and one original woman through our genetics, through our DNA. You can't refute that. You know, it's science. It's like, imagine that. So I kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, I could go on and on and on. But it explains the truth. Christianity overwhelmingly explains everything. That's why. Yeah. Please tell me you're voting for Biden. Seriously, SK, come on. You're giggling with your tongue in cheek when you say that, right? With wearing this, right? And I'm gonna tell you I'm voting for Biden. Please. So, yeah, do you think we came from aquatic animals or from the first humans created by God? I think I just answered your question. Yeah, overwhelming science evidence shows that we came from two original people. It's impossible to come from aquatic animals. DNA, speaking of genetics, in order to change into a different kind of animal, that's the best word. In the Bible, they use kind at the very beginning. Okay? There are different kinds of animals. In order to get from one kind of animal to another kind of animal, the genetic information is so profound and so complicated, so different from one kind of an animal to another. For a cat to become a dog, you've got to do a complete refurbishing of the DNA code. So it goes for the same as an aquatic animal becoming something else, to it becoming another kind. Like I said earlier, it takes more faith to believe that than it does to believe in the beginning God created. Again, like I said earlier, if in the beginning God created, what would you expect to find? And the conclusion I came to after studying it was, I would expect to find what I see in front of me. I would expect to see this. I would expect to see what I see outside and in the sky and in the stars and in the heavens. From a scientific point of view, I would expect to see, if there was a worldwide flood, what would you expect to see? Look around you. It's overwhelming. It's there in front of us, and yet we're like denying it. Really? Yeah, where do you buy your marijuana? Not anymore. I used to. San Diego, California. Samuel. What's up, brother? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo estás, amigo? So, Archie, or that is, what do you do in this life? Well, right now, I'm preaching the Word of God. But I do that quite often. But the reason for this live, hopefully in the future, near future, it's going to be a talk show between two medical background people, in particular pre-hospital emergency medicine. That's my background, and so the reason for starting this channel with the name Doc MacKay is in hopes of interviewing fellow paramedics, EMTs, nurses, doctors, whatever, and talk shop in regards to our experiences. And then I'll edit it, and then I'll release it as an episode on my YouTube channel. Right now, I find myself telling stories about my experiences when I was out in the field as a paramedic and in the Navy as a Navy corpsman. But tonight, I just came on an hour ago at 3 o'clock, and just random people coming in and asking questions and making comments, and such as, where do you buy your marijuana, and then I comment about it, and so on and so forth. But does any of that make sense, XO and Cruel? Good question. Cruel asked, is my book peer-reviewed? This particular issue is not, but they have a journal of creation journal. You can go there, go to creation.com and type in or look at their magazine section, and they'll have two magazines. One is Creation magazine, and the second is Journal of Creation, I believe. That issue is peer-reviewed. And I was just pricing it and thinking, you know what, I should give it a try, and stop the subscription so I don't have to pay both of them of this one, and try the Journal of Creation, because that is geared more towards the professional, where the Creation magazine is appeals to all of the above, 8th grade level and up, to the professional, to the student, to the parent, etc., etc. But that's another good question. Yeah. And sorry, I'm scrolling back and seeing the questions I missed. And that kind of answers your question as well, Molly. Is I'll read somebody's comment, and then I'll end up talking about it forever, and then I miss a lot of questions, so I'll go back and see what others have asked, and then that'll start another topic. MK, there you are again. What's up, eyeball? MK, are you a guy, a girl, both? Where are you, Molly? Where in this world do you come from? Samuel, are you still there? I'm down to 7 people viewing. I think that went up to 73 or something. I was like, whoa! I think that was a record. All looking at it at once. Oh, you're a guy. MK. Your initials, what? I'm just creating conversation. MK. Are those your initials? And New Mexico. Did you tell me last time? Sorry, I point over here. You're from New Mexico? Uh, there was somebody else from New Mexico. Was that you? Yeah, you're there. Your initials. Hispanic, Native American. I'm guessing. Albuquerque, ABQ. Santa Fe. I'm just throwing out there, throwing cities. Molly, are you still there? Oh, Molly. Molly Ramen. Half white, half Spanish. Wait, what is the, let's see. I'm from San Diego. What do they call a mixed, a Wedo? No, that's a whitey, isn't it? What is? Isn't there a mestizo? Mestizo. That's the same they call my son. My son's half white, half Filipino, and they call them mestizo in the Philippines. Yeah, it's mestizo. M-E-S-T-I-Z-O. Oh. In the black population, they refer them to as mulatto. Mestizo. Oh, wait a minute. It rejected my own comment. Your YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. Wait, what? How did they recognize mestizo as spam? Okay, how about, let's try. Mestizo. I've got certain words that are, I put in for the algorithm to recognize and reject, but mestizo isn't one of them. Mestizo, let's see here. I'll put comma mixed, M-I-X-E-D. See if that fixes it. Yeah, I think that did it. There we go. And let me see if I can copy and paste that. Yeah, I can. Look, this is what YouTube did to my own comment when I typed in mestizo. Check it out. Right there. This is what YouTube said when I typed in mestizo. YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. It's like I'm the host and it rejected my comment. Oh my gosh. Something about, probably because it's a foreign language and it doesn't recognize it, I guess. So yeah, just to reiterate, no, I'm not playing a game. If you didn't already know, this is my mouse pad. It's the Xbox. I'm viewing the live stream on Xbox. So the controller is the mouse and the headset is the green cord. You can see it going up that's my gaming, not mine, but the gaming headset and microphone. So there we go. But thanks for coming back, MK. And everybody else that was here. I appreciate it, really. Archie, hola eres, ¿cómo está? You see, MK, do you know any Spanish? Does your mom and dad speak Spanish to you? Ultimate! Speaking of gamers, speaking of the game controller, Ultimate Gamer just came in. No, I'm not playing a game, Ultimate. This is my mouse pad for the live stream. The cursor and the the A button, the B button, the X button, and the Y button, they all do something. All the buttons do something, and the triggers. The triggers magnify. The right trigger makes my 60-inch TV screen explode so I can zoom really close, and the other one decreases it back to normal size. The left toggle moves my cursor around the screen, and the right toggle, do I want to leave? What happened to my, where's my, I lost my mouse. Oh no, this is bad. It says, oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. It was hiding at the top. Ultimate Gamer. Speaking of zooming, I'm gonna zoom in on you're a young man on a bike at the beach. Whoa, dude, is that Southern California? You and a friend on bikes. Right there at the beach. That looks like Pacific Beach. Or somewhere near there. Where are you? I can't see the beach that well, but I can see it's the beach. Yeah, of course, MK. I'm married to an Asian girl, and both my kids are mixed. They're gorgeous. We're all from the same. Speaking of MK, I was just talking about coming from an original man and an original woman in the beginning. So since we did, everybody has, or I should say, those two people had the genetic information in them to produce all walks of life, all different color skins, all different shapes and sizes. Just like a cat or a dog. You know, the original dog they're finding out now, and it makes sense, is the wolf. The original canine is the wolf. So the original male and female wolf had all the genetic diversity in them to produce all the dog kinds, all the canines that you see today. All of them. They're just different looking, different shapes, different sizes. And now we breed them and come up with all kinds of different shapes and sizes and colors. Yeah, so it just makes sense. It makes sense that we came from, again, what would you expect if in the beginning God created? Well, you would expect that we would come from an original man and an original woman. And now today they can do genetic and DNA research and find out that that's what you find. It all makes sense. Ultimate. Oh, I was saying Ultimate. You look like a young man in your profile picture. You look like you're on a bike with a friend. I was asking, good for you, MK. Keep studying. Use creation.com. I mentioned that earlier. Very simple website, creation.com. Okay? It's got a search bar at the top. Use that to supplement your studies. Okay? Any question you have,
any question you have. Just type it in and see if they have an article that is written in regards to your question. And it's real helpful. Okay? Doesn't use the Bible. I use the King James because well, we won't go into that, and it does not. The creation.com doesn't. But even so, they're on the right track. They're not deviating, enough for me to be concerned about. Just a little different wording. But as far as the science that they're performing, and they're writing about, is, the same. They're using the same material, the same things that are available that a non-believing, an evolutionary scientist would use. Example, a geologist that is an evolutionist, still has the same coral in the sea to do his experiments with than the geologist that believes in the beginning God created is going to use the same coral, to do his scientific experiments with. But they're using two different foundations. One's using this as the beginning, and the other is using the Big Bang. And they often come up with totally two different conflicting findings. One makes overwhelming sense. Yeah, good for you. Good. And you know what you're going to find? And I've done the same. And this is maybe being one-sided, but you're going to find that the King James is going to be the most reliable Bible source to study, and stick with it. Just accept it. People say, "Oh, I want a Bible that's easy to understand. I don't have to, convert words, old English words into modern English words." It's like, well, what's wrong with studying the Bible instead of one that's already, and the work's been done? And it forces you. The King James forces you to study, because there's some words in there that are, not quite like, oh, I don't understand what that word. But they have references at the bottom of the page, and explains, what that old English word means today. And then after a while, you get used to hearing it and reading it. You're like, oh, I know what that word is. I know what that means. Yeah, what's wrong with studying the Bible? Yeah, King James. There's a Christ-centered program that I've been involved in for over 17 years, and it uses the King James. And I explain to people, as a group leader, there's a men's group, women's, they have their own group. As a group leader, I explain to people that are just coming into the program, it's like, hey, by the way, we use the King James, and instead of going into, why we use the King James, I just tell them, this is the book that the curriculum, it's a curriculum-based program. The curriculum is based on this version of the Bible. And so if you're using another version, that's up to you. But for Friday nights during the program, use the King James. And when you're doing your curriculum at home and doing your homework and you're studying, use the King James, because the curriculum is going to be saying something different than your ESV or your NIT or your, the other versions that are out there. So you're going to be like, wait a minute, it's telling me to memorize this verse and my Bible says something different than the curriculum does. So I tell them, for the program, use the King James. And then if you want to use something else later, that's fine. That's up to you. So that's my best way of, getting them to use the King James. And if they do, if they continue with the program, they're more than likely going to be using this for the rest of their life. Yeah, King James is rock solid. There's no reason to change it. It's beautiful. I mean, it says that even, it flows. When I hear any preaching on the radio or on the internet, or if I got a book and I'm reading it, or if I see something in the store, that has a verse on it, like my wife buys bath towels, that'll have verses on them. And I'll say, honey, that's not King James. You can tell right away. Well, not all the time, but when you listen to it on the radio, it's like, nope, that guy ain't using the King James, because I know some verses by memory, but other times you can just hear it and you can tell, not King James. It's been changed. You can hear it. Well, good for you, MK. Telling you, the truth makes free, and it'll change somebody's life if they just choose to study it. It will. It changed my life. Do I still struggle, with wrongdoing and being an idiot or a jerk like my wife, says, of course I do. Oh, Fizzle, you're back. I'm sure glad you're back. You know what? I said after you left, I wish Fizzle Bomber would have hung around for a little longer. I'm not playing. This is my mouse pad for this. I'm doing the live stream on my TV. So I'm going through an Xbox and using the browser, what's the browser again? Microsoft Edge. The Microsoft Edge browser that's on your smart TV. You just bring that up and then type in StreamYard, start a live stream. Get the gamer headset, the microphone. By the way, you're seeing me on camera. That is not part of the Xbox. No, I'm lying. Well, it's not directly part of the Xbox. You can buy a webcam for the Xbox, but I've been told it's not up to par with the latest graphics, and it's not worth it. But you can go live without a camera. It'll look like this. Hold on. It'll be just your profile picture. And all you need is a headset and a microphone. And you can go live. But you won't have a camera. It'll be a podcast. But if I found out, finally, after 3+ years, how to incorporate an external single lens digital DSLR, I'm pointing at it, and you buy the plug, the HDMI adapter, and the mini HDMI, micro HDMI to HDMI cord. Plug the mini side into your camera, and the regular UHD, the other HDMI converter into the back of your Xbox. And that's what I'm doing. And this is how I have a camera. I'm just using my digital camera. This is the camera bag. Oh, you can't really see it there, that goes inside. I'm using that camera as a webcam. and it's 4K. I don't think this picture is. I think this is 1080 right now. But anyways, here's my story, if I may. I made reference to tonight that I'm married to a lady from the Philippines. So therefore, because of that, I've been in the okay, MK. Awesome. Thank you for coming back and subscribing and notification and thumbs up, and leave a comment if you want, and you'll get my notification and so on and so forth. But Fizzle, so because of being in the Filipino community around me, my wife comes to me. Oh, I already had a YouTube channel for, gosh, 15 plus years ago, when it first started growing, and I posted, my very first video that I did on a cheap camera was at Arlington National Cemetery, and it was during a snowstorm, a freak snowstorm. And I did like a 30-second video, and I came home and I used Windows Movie Maker on the laptop, and I created a 29-second video or something. And you know what? It ended up getting almost 250,000 views. This was before I knew anything about YouTube and how to make money on YouTube, and what it's grown into today. So yeah, that video of the Arlington National Guard, the Army soldier that marches in front of the tomb of the unknown soldier, in the snow, doing his 21 steps, back and forth, and his drill routine that he does with his weapon. And it ended up getting like 200,000 views and a gazillion comments, of pretty cool. But that was, the old guard. Thank you. Oh, Joey. Oh my gosh. Kuya Joey. What are you doing? What are you doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning? 3:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh, you're worse than me. Yeah, anyways. My wife came to me out of the blue, and she's like, why don't you why don't you go live and put your YouTube channel link on your live stream? It'll help grow your channel. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah. And she mentioned a family member's name back in the Philippines. He's doing it. And I thought, wait a minute, you have to explain this to me again. What are you talking about? And I still couldn't figure out. Gotcha, Kuajoy. I had to go. I had to FaceTime or live, video chat with this family member in the Philippines, and I went on Facebook Messenger, I think, and I spoke to him one-on-one, and I said, what is that? What is my wife talking about? She's telling me about your live stream and how you post your link. And so anyways, he went through these steps of how to grow your subscriber base fairly quickly. And so I finally understood. Oh, that's what they're doing. What they do, if you didn't already know, people will go live like I'm doing right now, and there's a chat room associated with it, like you're chatting to me now. Well, you'll notice that Kuya Joey, for example, his name is blue. That's because I gave him a moderator status. And all I do is I click on the three dots. You won't be able to do this, but me as the host, I can do this. And I click on those three dots next to his name. And when I do that on the YouTube channel, it'll give me some options. And I can make him a standard moderator, or I can make him a moderator with more abilities. And what that does, it not only turns your name blue and makes you a moderator, but it enables you to post links, clickable links. Like if you tried it, the way your name is black and white right now, you'll be able to see the link that you copy and pasted, but it won't come up as a clickable link for everyone else to see. So, yeah, you can kick people, you can mute them, and so on, like Discord. Very good. So, again, like I said, if you already know this, just forgive me. I'm just going through as if you didn't know. And Kuya Joey, for example, can post his YouTube channel link or his Facebook link or his whatever link. And you and I would be able to click on that, and it'll take us to his page, and then we can check out his video, his YouTube, for example, YouTube channel. We can check out his video, and we can like it, we can subscribe, and we can comment, and so on. And then when we're done, we come back to you, my live stream, and do it again. There, like that. He just posted his link. Okay? So when you go into a room and there's 20 or 50 people in your live stream, and and you make them all a moderator, they can all post their links to their YouTube channel. And your channel grows exponentially because everybody in the room is clicking on each other's links. And they're taking a few minutes to go over to your channel to watch a video. Usually they'll post a short video. I don't know how short that link is. That's my link. Okay. But the ideal link is a short, like 20-second video or 30-second video. So the person can go to your channel, view the whole video from beginning to end without sitting there and camping out for an hour or 20 minutes and watching your video. They can watch a short 30-second video because it's good for your algorithm and your channel. It shows that you're a dedicated viewer or a dedicated subscriber if you're actually watching the whole video from beginning to end. You get it? So anyways, you watch their video, you give them a thumbs up, you leave a comment, and you click on the bell icon so you get their future videos. And then you come back into chat and you do it to somebody else. And they're doing the same for you. So you could spend 2 hours in a chat room and get 100 subscribers or more. So that's how I grew my channel to 2010 right now, 2.1 or something. But the problem with that is not all of those 2,000 are actually dedicated to my channel and watching my videos. They're just in the chat rooms clicking on each other's links to grow their channel as well as grow your channel. So you get it? Correct. Are they active subscribers? That's correct. You're right. But to get the initial subscriber base, you can do this and grow your channel pretty quickly. The next speed bump and the harder speed bump to get monetized so you can start making money and they'll pay you pennies for your ads, or you can get super chats and donations from people. In order to get there to that status, the harder part is getting back to what you said. You need to get watch hours. You need 3,000 or 4,000 watch hours 3,000 hours worth of watching your videos. So those 2,000 subscribers that you see on my channel, they're not going to get anywhere near the 3,000 and 4,000 hours that I need. They're just watching seconds of my video. So one way to grow your watch hours until you get an actual subscriber base is to live stream. Because I've already spent an hour and 43 minutes on my live stream. I got a timer above on my TV. Somebody wake up? No. And Kuya Joey is in my channel right now. Fizzle Bomber's in my channel. And you guys are spending a well, Kuya Joey just came in, and so did you. But other people, yes, correct. Ours is the hard part. That's how you get paid. You need to keep up 4,000 watch hours per year in order to stay monetized. But the initial monetization requirement is 500 subscribers. Is it 500? 1,000 subscribers, sorry. 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Well, now they've changed it to 3,000 watch hours, but it's a limited monetization. And don't ask me what the difference is. I'd have to read it again. But they changed it so that people could get monetized a little bit easier. But it's 3,000 to 4,000 watch hours. Yeah. So, live streaming is a quicker way to get watch hours, because the time that you're spending in my live stream right now goes towards my watch hours. So if you stay here, if I can, well, I don't want to say it this way, but if you're in my live stream for an hour, you see, and then if you get 2 people in here, that's 2 hours of watch hours, as opposed to a 30-second video. You see, you're spending a considerable amount of time with me listening. So if I could keep your attention, the longer I can keep your attention, the better it's going to be for my watch hours. And to answer your question, I think it was your question earlier, is, yeah, what is the subject of this, or what are you live streaming about? And the honest truth is, I didn't have any agenda tonight except to come in and just chat. And I usually get an opportunity to chat about something, and it's interesting, and people hang out and listen and ask questions, and I kind of forget about the watch hour stuff. I'm not here tonight to increase my watch hours. I didn't come on to do that. I just came on because I was bored. So, well, God is good. He's the great storyteller. And I just try to be a voice. And this microphone apparently helps. People comment all the time about my voice being, I don't know, whatever. You fill in the blank, but I tell them it's the microphone. Ever since the beginning of, you mentioned, how did I get into this life, or how long have I been doing this? Ever since I started this, people started commenting on my voice. And I'm like, really? What about my voice? Actually, it started, oh, thank you. It started before live streaming. And I won't go into detail, but before I was married, I found chat rooms. And this was, we'll call it back in the day. And it was before, or just when webcams were starting to make their debut. And I didn't have one yet. So it was all just chat rooms, texting. And you could send files, so you could send pictures, to each other. And you could make phone calls to each other. Remember that, Kuya Joy? Yeah, AOL. Oh my gosh. Now you're revealing your age, Fizzlebobber. Remember that? What was the other one? AOL and what was that? What was that name for ICQ? Remember ICQ? All right, good, Joey. You mean you just woke up? What'd you do? Open your phone and you found me live? Do you remember ICQ, Fizzle Bomber? I used Yahoo. Yes, Yahoo Messenger. And yeah. So anyways, remember web TV with the cordless wireless keyboard? Yeah, or something. Anyways, well, that's what started. I ended up taking the bait on some infomercial one night when I should have been asleep, like right now. And I purchased one of those wireless keyboards that you could surf the internet on your television through your DVD player. No, it wasn't even DVD. It was cassette, not cassette. What's the cassette player called again? The big cassette and the big camera on your shoulder with the 8-track. No, not 8-track. VCR. Thank you. God, I couldn't even think of that. Yeah, you could play the internet and record what's on your TV through your VCR player with a wireless keyboard in your lap. That's basically what I'm doing right now, except now they've got the internet and the using the gamer is really no different. Typing is actually antiquated using this thing. This is horrible. And you can rig up a camera. So anyways, I haven't progressed. No, I have. I just do this because I figured out how. So anyways, oh yeah, back to my story. Right. Correct. It's kind of like this right now. Actually, this configuration, I can't download. Xbox doesn't have that ability to download files into the Xbox. There's no memory, or very little, in the Xbox. So what I was saying was, yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about how I used to, my voice, that's what it was. And so, and phone calls, once, if you trusted the person, you would eventually exchange phone numbers, and then you give them a call because they had private messaging. So not everybody in the world, could see your private information. So through a private message, backstage, you text the person and they accept it, and you exchange phone numbers. So I would talk, and that's when I started getting comments about my voice. Oh, you should get your own 1-900 number. And I'm like, what? I was like, 1-900 number? So anyway, that's how it all started. The rest is history. I do. Well, I don't, but my wife uses her Apple. Why am I have such a hard time remembering? Her iPad, and my son's got his laptop, and there's a laptop in the basement, but up here with the TV, I don't have a laptop. I've got the Xbox. So I figured out with my free time about, using or browsing the internet with a 60-inch monitor, my TV, and the game controller becomes your mouse and your typewriter, and it sucks typing on this thing because you're picking numbers, the letters on the keyboard, and trying to fly with your fingers. It's not the way to go, but that's what I got. And they're in bed right now, and Anyways, so this has become Dad's smart uh, smart toy. Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah. Actually, I'm sure there's a wireless keyboard for the Xbox. But it would help as far as typing goes. Typing sucks on this thing. I use it for business, when I'm doing emails to companies and using Amazon and the whole internet perusing. And when I have to write a letter, or when I get into virtual chat, with a company, this thing sucks. I get so frustrated. I'm like, come on, go, 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 And you can tell they're on a keyboard. They're just typing away, and I'm sitting there going, AETO. I'm trying to type. Oh my gosh. I copy and paste as much. You can copy and paste on this, but it still sucks. Yeah, brand is your TV. It's a Samsung. Samsung? I'm trying to remember. Is it Samsung? I believe it is. Yeah, Samsung. I want to say it's Samsung. What the heck is the name of it? Wait, it's the same as my speakers. What is that speaker back there? I believe it is. Yeah. Yes, you can. Well, you know what? Yeah. Next question. Yeah, smartphones are. You can incorporate smartphones with this, and your laptop. And these live streamers incorporate multiple gadgets. They call them gadgets in the Philippines. And they'll use multiple phones, and they just get, like you said, you can get certain things accomplished much quicker. You can type. Like I could bring up my YouTube channel on the smartphone and see the chat room just like I'm seeing on my TV right now, and I can use my fingers to leave comments. Much faster than you could use your phone as your keyboard. This, even though it's Windows and I have multiple tabs open, because it's Xbox, it's very limited. You mean in life, in general? You're not the first person to ask me to give wisdom advice. That some other younger kids asked me the same thing. Yes, I actually said this recently to somebody. I already referred to it a moment ago, and that is, if you don't know the truth, find it. That's number one, first and foremost. Yeah. If you don't know the way, the truth, and the life, ask somebody to show it to you. Somebody that does know. Like myself, And number two, let's see, what would number two be? Yeah. What they say is, when you discover the truth, when you discover the way, the truth, and the life, everything else falls in place. All the other questions you have can be answered. I can come up with much better answers knowing the truth than if I did not. Because I'm going to give you my stinking thinking for an answer, if I don't know the truth. But if I know the truth, then my answer is going to be based on the truth. So what would you rather have? You know, would you rather have an answer based on the truth, or would you rather have an answer based on not the truth? I mean, it's kind of easy. It's a simple question with a simple answer. But I didn't know that. I kind of can interpret that. I see God and Christ in that. So. Is that Latin? Looks Latin. Hoorah. Good for you. Good. Praise God. Like the very beginning of that says. Praise God. I didn't know that. And that kind of answers the other part of your question is, or the first part, and that is if something I didn't, yeah, let me read what you wrote there. Give me some wisdom for a mid-20-year-old. Anything you regret that you wish you would have engaged in. That's it. I wish I had known. Although, you know what? Mom and Dad didn't know. So it wasn't handed down to us. But I wish I had known the truth when I was in high school. I wished I had an opportunity to go through a Christian academy like my son. I'm pointing back here. He's usually on his laptop. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. My God, what happened? But I wished I had had the opportunity that my son had. You know, to go to have Christ in his life from the beginning, from preschool to senior in high school. And you know what I found out? I found out, well, God, the Word of God's been around way before my time. But what I did find out, and I'm reaching for the magazine, I already used it tonight, is I realized that this magazine, for example, you know, a creation-based magazine, a science-based magazine based on in the beginning God created, I realized this magazine came out 2 years before I graduated from high school. And I went, what? I was in school and this magazine was out there with this information? And now that I've read what I've read and I've learned what I've learned, I'm like, I got kind of offended and thought, why didn't they teach me this? How come they didn't teach me this in my science program in school? How come the teachers never made mention of this in my school? And it's there? And scientists are doing research and coming up with these conclusions? Why in the world am I just finding this at 45 years old? I'm 61 now, but at 17 years ago, why did I just now run into this? Fossil record versus evolution. You know, et cetera, et cetera. Scientists versus chemical evolution. The new heavens and the new earth. Dinosaur fossils, evidence for the flood. Giant creepy crawlies of the pre-flood world. That's right. And I was just blown away. I had to, hey mate, NB6, I started relearning science all over again from the beginning. speaking of, in the beginning. I tell people this. Listen to this. This is like such a great contrasting picture. I've only got 17 years of this experience. Okay? My 19-year-old son has 15 years of this. I'm 62. I've only got 17 years of this experience. My 19-year-old, he's been learning this since he was 4. And he's 19. What's wrong with that picture? To this very day, I'm just sucking this stuff up, and I just keep sometimes rereading, or reading new stuff, new findings, new scientific facts, things that just make so much more sense. Let me read what you put. My father was, very early on, was able to tell me about the myths of evolution and the myth of Lucy. That's I don't know how old you are, Fizzlebomber, but that's what I grew up with. That was in my school. But you know what? Let me just read the beginning of this book. It hasn't stopped, as you know. It hasn't stopped. It's perpetuated, and it continues to be perpetuated and taught in schools and universities. The same story, the same crap keeps being taught. Those students, us, when we were students, we are now the professors and the teachers. And those that continue to be taught, and those that continue to not want to believe, they just keep perpetuating what they know and what they've learned. So it just keeps, it's like a weed, it just never gets plucked and pulled out. You're 26. Okay. I'm sorry. You did mention earlier a mid-20-year-old. Wow. When did, just like the climate change debacle, man, you're 26 years old and you're already realizing this? I already read the conclusion to the climate change, and it's a debacle. It's exactly what it is. And they're teaching it on the media as if it's conclusive, that the world's going to disappear if we don't do something about it. And there's just no solid evidence for it. And if you believe in the beginning, God, I'm holding up the wrong book. If you believe in Al Gore, oh my gosh, I already thought of Al Gore. You're not even old enough to know who Al Gore is, but you've done some research, obviously. That's right. He was the proponent. He's the one that started it, because he was the vice president. And everybody listened, and they put him on the news and ran with this climate change. But you know what, though? It's not so much that he should go to prison. It's like he didn't know either. That's what I'm going to believe more than he should go to prison. He was convinced. He was just another sheep that got convinced by the wrong people. Yeah, it's it. I know. Here, I'm going to read this, and I'm telling you, if you haven't already found it, again, I'm a proponent of the King James, and I got good foundation for it, but amazing how my mind all of a sudden loses my train of thought. But Yeah, it'll come back to me. This book. Oh, I was gonna say. Yeah, I lost it. But I'm gonna read some preface, the last or the part of this preface to you, because it always puts it a lot better than I can put it. But here, oh, as you are. Okay, maybe you're gonna bring back what I was gonna say. Anyways, the preface to this book, Evolution, the Greatest Deception in Modern History. The author is writing this preface, Dr. Roger Gallup. This book is a compilation and review of commonly known scientific evidence supporting divine creation. Evidence in the fields of geology, biology, genetics, medicine, paleontology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, astrophysics, and astronomy, and specific research by esteemed scientists, and from my own personal experience as a consulting geologist and marine scientist. I was compelled to write this book, having grown weary over the many years of continual evolutionary doctrine promoted as truth by public television, national networks, and other media, and taught in our public schools. This is a comprehensive, well-illustrated book that I wanted to read in high school and college, but could never find. It was written for the high school and college student, parents, and the general public, and the professional scientist. Although the, quote, theory of evolution, unquote, is filled with many gaps and failures, it continues to be taught by teachers as proven fact. And then later in life, those students perpetuate this doctrine without question as now teachers, journalists, and parents. What many people today never hear is the fact that evolutionary theory is not based on known scientific laws or evidence, but rather on false assumptions and poor science. Creation, as described in the book of Genesis, is perfectly consistent with all known scientific laws and evidence. And the scientific evidence is overwhelming. I challenge any skeptical person to give this book an impartial reading before dismissing the creationist point of view. Evolution, the Greatest Deception in Modern History. And it's just this, the whole subject, the whole worldview based on in the beginning God created has been transforming my world. I mean, it's taken me back to school and relearning everything I've been taught. It's just, it's overwhelming. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It makes so much sense. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that's like a trick question without really them realizing it. But maybe they'll see the relationship there. I just got done talking kind of in a indirect way earlier in the live stream about that. Somebody was asking, do you believe basically that you were created or that there's a God? Or no, he said, it's funny how they can't prove that there isn't a God, but then again, you can't prove there is. And I said, no, you can prove there is. I said, that's kind of easy. I said, it really is that easy. And that's like saying, do you believe that this book has an author? And, the obvious answer is, well, of course it does. Well, then, does this book have organization to it? There was an article written, a really good one, about, proving that this book, it was making fun of, but proving that this book did not have an author, and trying to explain how all these letters were put together and arranged in a sequence that made sense, and punctuation and periods, and yeah, exactly. How could anything with that design and organization be? It's the old question. If you took a box of, I spoke to my son about this. It's like, just take a bolt, a machine bolt, for example, that has a hex head on it and threads on it. I was trying to tell him, and he was we were probably misunderstanding each other more than anything. And that is, it's like saying, what are the chances, if given enough time, that the Earth by itself could create a bolt with a hex head?
Sorry about that. My controller. What are the chances that through natural process that will goes that spins onto it? Just a simple machine bolt. What are the chances that, given enough time, that the Earth would create a machine bolt with threads on it? That's not even mentioning the rotation of the planets and the galaxies and, our DNA and the language, that it just, is it possible? And, the misunderstanding we were having was, he was saying, well, mathematically, if you give it enough time, something like that could, given enough time, could be created. And I was like, I think you're wrong. I said, because what is missing is what you said at the end, and that is created. You need a creator. Because that bolt was designed by a creator. Evolution doesn't have a creator. So I don't care how much time you put into that equation, you're not going to come up with a bolt that has those design specifics onto it. It's like taking an airplane parts and putting them into a large box and shaking them up. And given enough time, when you open the lid, you're going to have a 747. That's right. That's right. So, and people go round and round and they'll debate us about that, and, they'll as they're doing today. Everybody's got an answer. And just because we don't have the answer doesn't mean there's no answer, but we'll get it eventually. Or that just gives us more time to study it. And what's wrong with that? Right? How many times have you heard that? And it's like, well, guess what? I have the answer. I have the answer. And I'm not even a scientist. And if you put your pride in your back pocket for, I tell people, 2 days, and just shadow another fellow scientist who has this point of view, the creation worldview, and shadow him for 2 days and let him show you his experiments based on a creation worldview, more than likely that evolutionary scientist's worldview is going to be changed. If he just would give himself enough time to let somebody show him that this makes so much more sense to your problems that you're encountering with your science equations and your experiments. Gosh, it's so simple. The only problem that they have with it is that they're allowing a supernatural variable into their equation. So what? So what if you allow a supernatural variable? Look at the result. And your mind will be blown away. Oh, Lord. Now, when people ask me that, I'm a Christian, period. I believe in Christ. I understand why he came and why he died. And I need to tell other people about it. It makes too much sense. That's right. That's right. The problem with the atheist worldview is it hinges on human morality being arbitrary and not a fixed set. Right. The Ten Commandments are inherent moral laws that human beings are inherently born with. That's it. That's a good way, a beautiful way of putting that. Right. And as you, yes, I have to be into apologetics. That's really a cool field. Not easy, but yeah, apologetics is that's the answer. You got to be ready. And Scripture says it, give an answer. Oops. You know what? Here's the best question. I forget his name. He's got a foreign name, but he's got a YouTube channel, and I can't think of his name. But he goes around and basically does like street evangelism, but he uses apologetics in his delivery. And his question is that he uses to start his exchange with usually students on campuses is there, he says, let me ask you a question. Is there any chance you could be wrong about anything you know? Have you ever heard that? I forget what his name was. Is there any chance you could be wrong about anything you know? And the obvious answer is, of course. I'm wrong about a lot of things. Well, there's only that's called Cliff. No, it's not Cliff, but there's only one correct answer for that question, because otherwise it's called self-refuting logical fallacy. You ever heard that expression? It's a self-refuting logical fallacy. When you say, yes, it's possible I could be wrong about anything I know. Well, then the next question is, are you sure about that? Because you're self-refuting yourself when you say that. When you say, yes, it's possible I could be wrong about anything I know, because now you're refuting your own self by saying that. So you could be wrong, that you're wrong, that you could be wrong. So basically what it does is it shuts you up, and my son even said it, that just takes the wind right out of a person's sail. And it does, because it's the wrong answer. The only right answer for that question is no. There's no possibility I could be wrong about anything I know. But the only way you can say that, you can answer that way, is if you know everything. Because then you don't self-refute yourself. But there's only one person that knows everything. See? And that one person, that one is the person that I believe in. So if somebody were to ask me that question now, I'm going to say, nope, there's no possibility I could be wrong about anything I know. Because if I truly know it, like if I know it to be the truth, then I'm not wrong about it. See that? But if a human who doesn't know the truth answers that question, they're going to say, yes, it's possible I could be wrong about anything I know. They self-refute themselves by saying that. So it's like a perfect question. Is there a let me ask you a question. Is there a possibility you could be wrong about anything you know? And they're going to say, of course. Are you sure about that? The only way that question can be answered is no. There's no possibility I could be wrong about anything I know. See, that's the kicker right there. If you truly know something, you know where that comes from? The beginning of knowledge is the fear of God. I'm paraphrasing that verse. You hear that? The only reason why you have knowledge that you know, the only reason why we know something is if we believe in God. The beginning of knowledge is because of who? That's exactly what you just said in your comments. That's the only way. It's the only answer. The only answer is the truth. There's only one way we got here. There's only one way out. If you don't know those directions, what does it make you? It makes you lost. It's like a common thing when you're trying to navigate somewhere. If you don't know how you got from point A to point B, you definitely don't know how you're going to get back. So you're what? You're lost. Imagine that. People that don't believe in how they got here, they don't want to understand, they have no idea how to get back. They're lost. But once you understand how you got here, you find out there's only one way back. Right. That's right. They want to know. Gosh, it goes back to the cross. If you're God, get yourself down off that. You really think that's going to make people change somebody's mind? And God knew that. You know, it's even, I've come, it's so much simpler than that. You know, I've seen it. If I haven't seen a true God, then that's right. Yeah. I know. I had a friend before he died. Make that phone call to me, and literally in tears. My dad. My God, my dad. Unbelievable. Can I share my testimony with you before I go? Let me see if I can do this without disappearing. I'm going to copy and paste it because if I disappear, don't go. I'll be right back. Yeah, hold on a second. I wrote this down because I shared it at my dad's funeral. Because this Xbox is not a laptop, even though it's Windows and I can have multiple windows open, or I should say multiple tabs open, I can't open more than one window. Sometimes it lets me, but Xbox isn't that smart. And so it might kick me off, but it won't end my live stream. I'll just disappear and I'll lose my audio. But hold on one second, I'll be right back. I can still hear the music, so I know you can still hear me. Yeah, I'm still there. Oh no, it's telling me to sign in again. No, that's a security summary. Okay, go back to the home page. See if I can do it. The blue is not. Let me see. It's spinning, so it's trying. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Oh, it's making me sign in. Hold on. I must have signed out of Google or something. Everything's with Google now, so it might have a verification. If it does, oh no. I gotta wake my son up and use his phone. But hold on, it's coming. I think it memorized my password, so I just gotta sign in. I'm using Evernote to grab this testimony. Okay, good. It's logging me in, and it's like dial-up sometimes on this Xbox. The browser is like dial-up here. So hold on a second. You probably don't even remember dial-up, but actually using a phone line to log on to the internet instead of wireless. Okay, come on. This is, speaking of somebody turning the corner or, the light switch going on. It happened with me, with my own dad, and it was the most just life-changing experience that I had ever, tops everything. The most joy I've ever felt in my heart was when other than my kids being born. It was when I shared the God. I had the opportunity to share the gospel with my dad for the first time in his life. And then 7 years later, he died. Notes. Okay. Here we go. Dad's Song, I titled it. Okay. Let me grab it here. Is this everything? Yeah. I was like, I thought it was abbreviated and didn't say everything that I wanted to say. This isn't copying everything. Why not? Again, I'm doing this with a Xbox controller, so I'm struggling to scroll. Let's see, here we go. We got everything. Keep going. All the way up. And there we go. Oh, it didn't copy the title. That's okay. And I'm going to copy it. Come on. I got it. And I'm coming back here. All right. StreamYard, I got it. Delete TV. Yes, it is. Let me get the volume muted here. There we go. No more music. Okay. Let's see if it allows me to paste all of the everything that I said here. And I know you'll be able to read it, but I'm going to read it out loud as well here. Yeah, let's see. Did it get everything? No, it didn't. It only accepted, so many. Well, you know what? You can begin to read that. Actually, I haven't posted it yet, but let me go to the other tab and see if I can. I'm going to play this music only because I'm going to play it low so I can hear it in my headset, and I'll know that I'm still connected by hearing the music in my ears. Okay. There. So I'm going to go right to the story. Give me 1 second. It's trying to populate here. Again, it's an Xbox, not a laptop. So in 2010, my dad came to, he was living in Arizona, and he drove out to San Diego, where I was living at the time. That's where I'm from, originally from San Diego. I'm in New Jersey now, don't ask. But while he was visiting me in San Diego, he stayed a couple nights. And this is what happened while he was visiting me. Within the last few years of my dad's life, a song I heard sung by the Honor and Majesty's Choir, Hiles Anderson College of Crown Point, Indiana, immediately captured my attention while I was sitting in the front row at church one Sunday. It was as if the song was written about my life and my dad and I's meeting that one afternoon. I couldn't help but to find the lyrics and write them down. It goes like this. I have been to a lot of places, and this can be me talking. Literally, this is the lyrics to the song, but it's like I'm saying this. I have been to a lot of places, and I've seen a lot of things. My eyes have viewed the beauty of many wondrous things. From the flowers in the springtime in a valley deep and wide, to the majesty of mountains by the ocean's swelling tide. Just to add my own experience to that, I've had the opportunity, been very fortunate to have done some world travel, and I got into the rock climbing community when I was 19, and I was involved, well, I still am, for 40 plus years. And that took me a lot of places. It took me to some foreign countries. It took me to Nepal to see the Himalayas. I done rock climbing in the Philippines, throughout the United States, down in Mexico, on volcanoes, et cetera, and been seeing beauty that not too many people get to see from a vantage point that not too many people get to see. So continuing. But these things, those things soon fade away. They seem to grow so small when I compare them to the greatest miracle of all. For the greatest thing my eyes have seen is the changing of a life. When a sinner, my dad, fell down on his knees and gave his heart to Christ. Nothing moved my soul to tears like the joy redemption brings when to witness true salvation was the greatest thing my eyes had ever seen. I saw a dying, hopeless soul find joy and peace and love. I saw him. I saw my dad pass from death to life by the power of Jesus Christ. From the wealthy, born in riches, to the poor and homeless man. From the older folk to the youngest child receives salvation's plan. There are many things I'd like to see before this journey ends, but they can't compare to what I've seen when a soul is born again. I've been to a lot of places and I've seen a lot of things, but to witness true salvation was the greatest thing my eyes have ever seen. Those were the lyrics. Those are the lyrics to a song. And that's my life. My God, that was my experience with my dad. And I got to hear that song. I got to hear a choir, a girls' choir, sing that right in front of me. And I was just like, oh my God. How did they know me? I've never seen these ladies in my life. So I had to buy that DVD. I had to not memorize. I had to figure out what the lyrics were. My wife and I sat there for 2 or 3 days trying to figure out exactly what they said, but eventually I found it online, so it made it easy. Isn't that something though? Hi, Kim or Lynn. Thank you, Billy. Yeah, let me lower the music down again. I just kept it on so I could know that I was still connected and you could still hear me. So, my dad, I remember after I shared the gospel, sorry about my toes, shared the gospel with my dad, he dropped his face into his hands and he cried, he sobbed like a child right there on my couch with the footstool in front of us. And I was pouring snot coming out of my nose as well. And I was like, do you get it, Dad? He's like, Gary, nobody ever explained it to me that way before. And I just said, that's it, that's it, Dad. And I prayed with him right there, and it was wild. It was the most wonderful thing I've ever experienced. And he's the only one in the family, other than myself, that was given a chance to listen and understand and have somebody explain it to him. My mom, my brother, my sister. I've been told Gary's in a cult, But praise God, thank God, man. That's what he went through, and then some. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. It's amazing. I shared that with, like I said, with my family and those in attendance at my dad's viewing, I guess is what you call it. And it really wasn't, oops. Oh my gosh, I just posted it and I didn't realize I just did. But it just posted 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it didn't post everything, but anyways. Oh yeah, you're reading. Yeah. Why? Wait, Spring Valley. It's a bummer. Come on. Seriously? Oh my gosh. At the time, I was going to Lighthouse Baptist Church there in Lemon Grove, right up the hill from Spring Valley. Where are you? You're in East County? Oh my gosh. I'm a San Diego boy, so that's where I was born and raised. I love it. Small world, huh? Yeah, where did Spring Valley, did I mention it here at the beginning? Yeah, there it is. God's Word at my home in Spring Valley. Oh, I know about Dictionary Hill. Yeah. But no, I didn't grow up there. Here's my story. Wow. I grew up in Claremont. Um, Mount Helix. Oh, yeah, that's Mount Helix over that way. I went to Madison High School in Claremont. Graduated in 1980, and all my brothers and sisters did. My junior high school was Hale, Mildred L. Hale Junior High. It's now a Christian fellowship. It has K through 12, the last I saw. But yeah, it's no longer named Hale Junior High School. It's I forget the name of the church. But anyways, I moved from there up to Oregon, and then we lived there for a couple years, and then my life fell apart, and I ended up in Louisiana chasing a woman. And then from Louisiana, I went back to San Diego, stayed with my mom, who lives in Poway, speaking of East County. And yeah, not to be specific, but I forget, what is East County considered? Is that El Cajon? Or is that Escondido, East County? Mexcandito. But anyways, so gosh, you know where I'm talking about. I know all the areas. My brothers and sisters, and we all know, the North County, East County, so on. So Chulawana, Nasty City. That's right, North County. That's right. Escondido is considered North County. East County. I'm familiar. Yeah, East County, in that Lemon Grove, La Mesa, Spring Valley, El Cajon. Yeah. Okay. So I'm all over the United States, and then I moved up to Bakersfield, and then to Tehachapi. That's up in the mountains above Bakersfield. And then I met my wife, my current wife, and she's from New Jersey. Well, she's from the Philippines, but her family's back in New Jersey. She came out to California so I could marry her and propose to her, and then eventually we got married. We went back to the Philippines and got married, and then when we came back, actually I was deployed to Iraq in that somewhere in 2004, 2005. And when I got back from Iraq, instead of going back to California, my wife was here in New Jersey staying with her family while I was at war. No, all my family was not in the military, just myself and my dad. So I ended up in New Jersey because of Iraq. In 2005. I stayed until 2007 when I found a job and I was looking on purpose to get out of New Jersey and go back to San Diego. I found a job back at the San Diego Wild Animal Park in the zoo as a paramedic at the first aid station. True story. But I didn't care. Whatever I could find that could get me back to San Diego. Then I could move my wife back there and my little boy at the time. So we lived back in Spring Valley. That's how I ended up in Spring Valley. Found a house to rent, a cheaper house to rent in Spring Valley. Not a very good part of town, but in Spring Valley nonetheless. And we stayed there from 2007 to 2011. And then my wife was always telling me she wanted to get back to her family. And in 2011, 2012, we moved back to New Jersey, and we've been here since. But those 4 years that I spent back in San Diego was in Spring Valley. So that's how I ended up in Spring Valley. Yeah, and we were there during the fires that erupted out in speaking of East County, way out there in, God, I think it started in Hamul or out there somewhere, big wildfire. And what is the drive? Calavo Drive. I don't know. Oh, is that a bad street in Spring Valley? Well, I lived up on the hill. I think it was, well, not Dictionary Hill, but another one on the other side. And it was a dead end road going up. Matter of fact, my street name was Sweetwater Lane. And it turned out to be a drug dealing neighborhood and some criminals. But we had a military officer that had a rental on the road, and he kept it immaculate. And I thought it was the greatest find. So you know where I'm talking about. Yeah. And yeah, it was just unfortunate that we had neighbors that were, selling drugs. And then an officer knocking on our door and saying, "Hey, by the way, your next door neighbor." Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? What a small world. Wow. So, but again, the officer was cool, and he was clean cut, good to go, and kept an immaculate rental. And I moved into it, and all I did was just upkept his already immaculate renovation that he did to the house, and we were living, high in the hog, I considered, but we just had sketchy neighbors. But it turned out okay. It was one of those, it was quiet, I guess. We didn't have, any noise problems. It was just traffic. Cars lining up at the house across the street from us and having to call the authorities to shoo them away. But anyways, yeah, that's when my dad came out from Arizona and stayed with me in that house. I couldn't have orchestrated that. That was just so, God-given opportunity to. And, my little boy that was at that age of, "Why, Dad? Why?" He was like 4. Yeah, 2010, he would have been 6. No, he was born 2005. He was 5. And it was hard for, he was my sidekick. My little boy was with me everywhere I went. And to have him, to tell him to go to his room and stay there was far and few between. But especially with my dad being there. He wanted to be the center of attention, with Grandpa. But I just said I had an opportunity to share the gospel with my dad, and I told my little boy, Jordan. I said, Jordan, can you go in your bedroom and let me talk to Grandpa? Just give me a few minutes. And he goes, okay. And he turned around and he walks right back to his room and shuts the door. And he stayed in there the whole time that I had to share with my dad. And I was like, whoa, that was easy. And that's when I, spent 20 minutes just going through the Bible, and, one verse leads to another. And I went from Genesis to Romans, and it was just, wow. And then for my dad to just drop his face into his hands, and drop to his knees on the carpet and like a child. And I was like, had my arm around him and crying with him, and for him to say, nobody ever explained it to me that way, Gary. I'm like, it's that easy, Dad. So, yeah, what a small world. I was saying, I was there. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but there was a big wildfire way out east. I think it was out there in the Laguna Mountains or the foothills thereabouts, and it was spreading quickly. And then I was listening to the news and watching it on the news, and the wind were like 30-mile-an-hour winds. They're really high winds, and the fire was spreading quickly, and it was blowing west. And I heard about that, and I told my wife, honey, we need to keep an eye on this. This wind is like blowing our direction, but it's still 100 some odd miles away, so we should be okay. And then at like 2:30 in the morning, we're asleep at the house in Spring Valley, and all of a sudden there's like whack, 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 whack on our front door. I think that was it. What year was that? Well, if it was 2010, 11, you were a teenager, right? Yeah, it was, it was 13 years ago. That was 2003, 2007. I was there 2007 to 2011. That's when it happened, 2007, maybe. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, we got woke up to like bang, 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 bang on our front door. And I'm like, it's like woke me and my wife up, and I'm like, stay here, stay here. And, I'm scared to death thinking, I thought maybe it was a druggie, at my front door. And I come to the front door and I see this guy pasting his face up against the stained glass window on the door. And I'm like, whoa. And then he comes around to the side window and he's banging on the side window. And I still thought, like, who are you, dude? And he's like, I'm your neighbor. Look out your back door. Look out your backyard. And I realized, I recognize him. He's the neighbor across the street. And I go out my back, and he meets me back there, and he's like, look over your fence. And up on Mount Helix, there was a fire ring around the top of Mount Helix. And I went, holy crap. Well, it turned out that fire line that we were looking at was a brake line that firefighters had set at the top of Mount Helix to keep the fire from spreading. But we didn't know. So we ended up evacuating to the Jack Murphy Stadium, my wife and I and my little boy. And we camped overnight in a tent at the stadium.
Testing. There it is. Okay, I just got it back. I can see the voice talking now. Okay, what happened is the battery died on my camera. So instead of replacing it, I'm going to go ahead and just use my audio because I'm about done. I can't believe it's 6 o'clock in the morning. My wife's going to be waking up wondering what in the world were you doing? But yeah, my battery died on my camera. Unfortunately, I still haven't figured out a plug that charges this camera like most other DSLRs. But for now, I just got to keep replacing the batteries every time. Put one on the charger and put one in the camera. So yeah, it was instead of risking the fire going any further, we just decided let's just pack some stuff up and get in the car. And I went over to my sister's in Claremont, throwing rocks at her window, trying to wake her up so we could sleep in her living room or something. We couldn't wake her up, so I said, "Come on, let's go to the beach." I said, "There's water at the beach. We'll be safe at the beach." So on the way to the beach, we had a radio on in the car, and that's when we heard the stadium was open for those being evacuated from that fire. So it was like, bingo, we're going to the stadium. And you know what? They were pretty good to go. They had food, they had accommodations, they had, people came from everywhere to support that. Pizza, sandwiches, restaurants, hygiene products, the whole 9 yards. You can still hear me, right? Fizzle Bomber. Are I'm sorry, Fizzle. Did you say or did you? Are you a female or a guy? Okay, I think you said, but I don't remember now. You're a mole. Oh, a male. I read that as a mole. It's like, okay, he's playing the guessing game. I'm a mole. Gotcha. Well, hey, pleasure talking with you. You sound like you're a pretty smart kid. And yeah, what are the chances that you're like, uh, as a matter of fact, I was saying I went to the church at the top of the hill. Um, what exit is that off of 125 to get to Spring Valley? I forget the exit. Yeah, Spring Street? It's Spring Street, right? Right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Spring Street exit. Well, you make a left to go across to Spring Valley, or you make a right and you go up the hill to Lemon Grove. Well, at the top of the hill to the right is that donut shop, and just behind the donut shop is Lighthouse Baptist Church. And that was our church that we went to. Pastor Fisher is the pastor of Lighthouse Baptist Church. Yeah, I'm familiar with all that area. And Bonita, and my wife being Filipino, of course, that's why I moved her to San Diego. I thought that would be an easy sell, having the Filipino culture there in San Diego, Manila Mesa, Casa de Oro. Yeah. Oh my gosh, what do you know about Casa de Oro? Oh, Bancroft. Oh, that's right. Those are the names of the street. Oh my goodness. Yep. What about Jollibee um at what shopping mall is that? Is that in Bonita or the next one? What's the community after Bonita? What shopping center is that? Help me out. What's the road? Is that Bonita Road, isn't it? That goes all the way into uh, National City, Nasty City. Yeah. See, I know where you're at. I mean, I know we know where we're at. Uh, yeah, as a matter of fact, I went to Southwestern College to get my paramedic license. Yeah, nasty city, natty, natty city. Chulawana. It's not Mira Mesa. It's Manila Mesa. It's not. Um, it's not Linda Vista. It's Little Vietnam. LV, known as Linda Vista, up there in Claremont, Kearney Mesa. That's my. That's where I grew up. Was Claremont. Yeah, and I even dated a Hispanic girl from uh, oh my gosh, what's the city that starts with a Y down by the border? Um, oh my gosh, what is it? I know. Yeah, you got my you're connected now, so yeah, San Isidro. Thank you. Yeah, her name was uh what was her name again? Um it was the classic Hispanic girl's name. Uh oh, I forgot. Anyways, she took me down to Tijuana to eat at a Chinese restaurant. Good old Tijuana. Yeah, what am I doing back in Galloway, New Jersey? Holy moly. Hong Kong. Uh, all right, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the rack. I can't believe I'm not even gonna be able to wake up today. Going to bed at 6 in the morning. Yeah, so we've been living in this house since 2014 is when we finally found some real estate to buy. Angel. Hi, Angel. Angel meet Fizzlebummer. Fizzlebummer meet Angel. A lot of these people that you'll see in my channel are because of the connection with the Filipino community through my wife. And so Angel that just showed up, she's from the Philippines working in, you just said Hong Kong. And you know what? That's where she's working. Oh my gosh. You believe you just said that? And that's where she's at right now. Hong Kong. I'm good, Angel. Better than I deserve. Ikaw. Yep. All the time. All right, brother. See you next time. Hey, Angel, I gotta end this live. I just came on to chat, and now I've been on 3 hours. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't been to sleep yet. Oh my goodness. Right as I said that, I got this big yawn. Yeah, you're late. You're late and I'm super early. Super early in the morning. What what are you doing in Hong Kong right now? Is your day over or is your day never over? Oh, gosh, sorry. Yeah, when is it over? Do you have Oh, you're free. Oh, that's nice. What time is it there? 6 p.m.? Same as the Philippines? Yeah, 6 p.m. 60, what is it? 6:08 or something like that. It's 6:08 in the morning here. Well, that's nice. You're free like after dinner? I know. I I don't know what I'm doing, still awake. But it was a good chat. I got I think I had like 73 people viewing this at the very beginning. I mean, this whole room filled up. And so I had people that I don't even know, never seen before, just fill the room up. But it was fun. And then a few people stayed around and we talked and talked and talked. And then 3 hours later, I'm still here. Yeah, it was good. Well, I will talk to you soon, Angel. You know, my email is available on my YouTube channel in the description. I think you just click on, email address and then it gives you, if you ever want to uh, use that, it's in my description at the top of my YouTube channel. If you still use your email, a lot of people don't. They use Messenger, but I don't have social media anymore, so I just live on my email for communication. Yeah, you should leave me a message, and that way I'll have your email address, and I'll save it in my contacts. Okay, dear. Have a good night. And did you eat yet? Did you eat dinner? Ah, you can still eat. Okay. All right, Miss Angel. I'll talk to you later. Bye, Guapa.